Welcome back to Put Together-ish. I'm Lauren. I am the most serious, unserious person you are ever going to meet. Okay. Well, are we okay? Like, actually, are we are we okay? Okay. Well, I'm wearing a fluffy hat. I'm back in my car. Myrtle is here. She's here. It felt right to be back in Myrtle. I just felt like it was a good episode to be back in the car. So yeah, fluffy hat is on. I've been wearing this hat for like 4 days straight, and I don't know, don't ask. It's kind of nice. I'll link it. Okay, I will. Okay, let's talk. I'm gonna be honest. I recorded an episode last week, and it just didn't feel right to upload anything at all. There's just so much going on. There still is so much going on. I feel weird. I'm sure everyone feels weird. So, let's talk about a few things, shall we? Duh. First off, let's talk about LA. Because that's still happening. So many people are affected by that. So I'm sending a lot of love to anyone that is affected. I just can't imagine that. I just feel our country is literally burning. And honestly, I feel like when shit like that happens, a lot of the times this country, we often go against one another, and people share their opinions that aren't helpful, or we just, I don't know, we just always do that. We just always kind of get mad at each other and do things that just aren't helpful. But from my POV, it just seems like everyone really came together and was very helpful and united. And one thing that I have learned from the past 2 weeks, we are very united. We really are. So yeah, I'm just sending lots of love to everyone. I just feel there's just been so many things happening. Just a lot of chaos. I just felt weird putting stuff out. And I really just wanted to wait until the whole TikTok thing chilled the fuck out. Honestly, it was it wasn't affecting me, because I was whatever happens, and I think it's going to come back. And then honestly, with Orange Man coming into office, I was just I honestly can't. I don't even want to think about it. I can't even think about it. I don't want to think about it. So I just I couldn't put anything out because I was afraid that I was just gonna crash out, I just didn't want to put that on you guys. Y'all don't want that, I don't want to do that to you. So I think it was probably for the best. And so here we are. So now that it's over now and he's here to stay. Now I can hopefully just be kind of maybe some peace and a way to get your mind off things. Hopefully I always am, and just bring some laughter. That's just my ultimate goal here. As I'm spiraling myself. Seriously, one thing that this last week, this potential ban, the LA fires, everything that it has taught me is that we really are united as fuck. And I'm so glad that I was born in this generation. I was born in the right generation, because I'm way too passionate. I'm way too opinionated. I love my generation. I'm so proud to be part of this generation, because we really fucking care, and we care about the right thing. So yeah, pretty much every single day my hatred for the US government and white supremacy grows and grows and grows. And I just want you to know that if you are trans, black, or an immigrant, or any part of any type of minority group, obviously I love you. This is a safe space. Yeah, and I literally can't stop crying. It just makes me so sad. And I don't know how people are cheering on this hatred. I don't understand. So it just makes me really sad. So that's why it's it affects me a lot. And obviously as a woman, it's very, very scary too. It is. But obviously I think about the other minority groups too that have just been fighting and fighting, and it's they don't affect you. How they live their life doesn't affect you. So I don't know why this hatred exists. Why? I just I really don't get it. What happened? Okay, let's do a little recap. God, so many things have happened. Let's catch up. I went to Cincinnati this weekend to visit my brother, and I also got to meet my social media friend Allison, and literally what a healing fucking experience. Like, I cannot like explain enough like how much I needed that. And you know when you have like a social media friend, you're like, oh, like she's my bestie. Like you can just tell when you're just gonna like vibe with somebody. It was like we knew each other for years. Like we were just like dancing around on the sidewalk. Like people were probably driving by like, what are these two weirdos doing? Literally, don't mind us. Don't mind us. We're just gonna dance, walk on the streets. We got coffee, we made some content. It was like so refreshing because like we literally like had like 4 cameras and like just taking pictures of everything. And like we went into a hotel lobby and just like yibbity yapped about our lives, and it was just so refreshing. She is so beautiful. Like her story about her life, like she's just so inspiring, so motherfucking inspiring. Like it was so nice. It was just so nice. And I just needed that. I needed to just like get away and just like be with people, and like it was perfect. And I had so much fun, and I just love people. I literally just love people. This weekend was so like, it was so needed, honestly, like with the whole like TikTok ban and like Orange ban. Like it was like the perfect weekend to get away, because if you guys haven't noticed, like first off, I'm a Pisces moon, so like we are the most emotionally like affected by everything. Like literally, like this shit affects me so much. This was the perfect weekend to get away. So I wasn't thinking about anything. I didn't go on TikTok. I didn't go on anything. Like I didn't think about any of that shit. Well, I did. Like I brought it up like probably 100 times, but then it was gone. I can't like not think about it. It just affects me because I'm thinking about everybody else. Like, okay, I'm done. Okay. But like it was so much fun. I had so much fun. And it was just such a fun weekend, like meeting new people, being around people. Oh, it was so good. And I'm going back to Cincinnati like Valentine's Day weekend for Justin Bieber night. Do you guys remember last episode? If you listen, I was like, one of the best nights of 2024 was like when I went to Justin Bieber night. And it's pretty much like you go to like, it's Club 90s, and they do it all around the country, like at different places, and they just play like Justin Bieber songs, and like girls will show up like dressed like Justin Bieber, and you pretty much just jump around, listen to his old music, watch his music videos, and it's literally so fun. Like, I've never felt more understood in my life. Literally my life. It's so fun. Whoa. Those audio levels are high. Was that loud? Hey, was like that loud? Did that hurt your ears? Did that hurt your ears? Okay. So, I just know it's going to be a healing experience. I'm going to have so much fun. And the perfect thing to do on Valentine's Day. You know what? I had the funniest story about Valentine's Day. I actually have to tell you. I have a story about fucking everything. Okay, last Valentine's Day was like what? Like a Tuesday or Wednesday? It was like in the middle of the week. Yeah, it was like the middle of the week, okay? And this is actually so funny. Wait, it's probably like not funny at all. And you guys are like, Lauren, this isn't funny. Okay, I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you anyways. Okay, so I was like sitting in my car. This is when I was in Cleveland, and I went to go get Dunkin'. And when I would go get my Dunkin' in Cleveland, I had this whole routine, okay? So this one Dunkin' in the city, like there was no parking, so I had to like go park my car, and I would park it in front of this hotel because I was like the only like place I could get like free parking. So I'd park in front of this hotel, then I'd walk like 2 blocks down to this Dunkin' and then walk back. And it's kind of nice because I had like a little like walk to go get my Dunkin'. Okay, so then I went and got my Dunkin'. I was back in my car, sitting in my car, probably filming my Dunkin' day, and this Porsche like drives up in front of me, and is like trying to parallel park. Okay. And I'm like, oh my God, this Porsche is about to like hit my car. Like this man was like this fucking close to my car. Like so fucking close, okay? Oh my God, is that loud? I wish I could hear what it sounds like. Sorry if I'm yelling. He was like this close to my car, okay? I'm like, great. This Porsche is about to fucking nail my car. And what am I going to do? It's a fucking Porsche. Great, cool, awesome, perfect. This man, he didn't hit my car. Okay, this man gets out. He walks past my car, looks at me, does a double take, comes back. Okay? Mind you, picture this. Everyone close your eyes. I'm sitting in my driver's seat with my Dunkin', minding my business. My window is up. It's February 14th. It's cold. He starts talking to me as if my window was down, as if I invited him to have a conversation with me, which I didn't. He starts talking to me through my window that is up. It's up. What the fuck? I don't know. I don't remember the exact words that he said, but he was like, oh, like, what are you doing? Like, what's your name? I don't know. He said some weird shit. And I'm like, I'm Lauren. And I remember vividly that I like cracked my window just enough, like literally like an inch. Literally an inch. Because I don't know who you are. Stranger danger. I don't know you. put my window down just a little bit, just so I could hear him. He was like, what are you doing on Valentine's Day alone? I'm like, it's literally 10 a.m., bro. Like, what are you talking about? Mind you, it's a Wednesday. It's a Tuesday. What are you fucking talking about? Who are you? What do you want? Wait, what is that from? Literally, what is that from? Who are you? What do you want? Oh, Incredibles. Edna, The Incredibles. Okay, next. Sorry. I had to think about that for a second. He's like, what are you doing alone on Valentine's Day? And I'm like, it's literally 10 in the morning on a Wednesday. What are you talking about? So yada, yada, yada. He's like, well, let me take you out for Valentine's Day. I'm like, I literally don't know. I don't even know who you are. I don't even know your name. You don't even know who I am. No, get away from me. Get away from Myrtle. She doesn't like you. Get away from her. Okay? Get away. But he was actually like really funny, and his persistence was actually like, it was just hilarious. He was like being so funny, and I was being really mean to him, but he was like, he was doing well. And he was like, well, I have a haircut. Like, let me give you my number and you can think about it. I'm like, okay, Mr. Porsche man. I'll think about it, Mr. Porsche man. And I gave him my number, and he texted me. He's like, seriously, like, think about it. Like, I'll take you out for Valentine's Day this week. I'll spoil you, get you some dinner, go shopping. And I'm like, okay, like, that sounds kind of like, I don't know, like, sounds kind of nice. Like, dinner, shopping. But the catch is I have to hang out with a man. Like, I have to listen to a man talk? Ugh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that at all. Anyways, I went. I still went. So then he picks me up. This is like at a later date. He picks me up in a different car. This car was low to the ground. It was really loud. It was overstimulating. I didn't like it. It was hurting my head. It was hurting my ears, giving me anxiety. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. No. He takes me to Saks, and he's like, pick something out. Pick anything you want out. And I'm like, what? This is out of character for me, guys. Remember, 2024 was for the plot, but this was out of character for me. I don't know how to do this, okay? I don't know. So I'm over, like, looking at the fucking Essentials hoodie. I'm like, oh, this is a nice hoodie. You know, like, I walk past, like, Gucci and Prada, and I'm over here looking at the fucking hoodies. What am I doing? What am I doing? He's like, you don't want, like, a nice perfume or something? I'm like, no. But, like, I'm hungry. When are we eating? Like, are we eating soon? I'm, like, kind of hungry, though. I need a snack. I'm hungry. So then we go eat. He did feed me well. But, like, God, he talked so much. And, like, I sound horrible, don't I? I tried. It's not my vibe. This isn't my vibe. So then he was like, you still need to pick out something. And I'm like, okay. So then he took me to another store. And I ended up picking out a hoodie that was like $300. $300 hoodie? That's kind of absurd. I don't know. At least in my mind. I think that's kind of crazy. Then, this is where it gets crazy. He drops me off. I'm like, thank you, I had fun. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I don't text him back. Of course not. Y'all know how I work. Then I get a text from him like 3 weeks later, and he goes, you know, like, is there a reason you didn't text back? Like, I had such a good time with you, and like, I really, really like you. Pardon me? What do you mean you like me? You don't know me. You literally actually don't know who I am at all. You literally don't know me. You hung out with me one time. Excuse me? So I said, you hung out with me once. You hung out with me one time. And he goes, sorry, I had fun. Okay, yeah, you had fun, but you don't like me. Spoiler alert, you don't know me. That's actually one of my biggest pet peeves. Love bombing actually makes me so angry because you don't know who I am. Baby, you have no idea. You don't know me. You saw like one little version of me. Yeah, you actually have no idea. I actually have about like 11 different personalities, and you actually have no clue what you're talking about. Have you seen me crash out? Have you seen that? Have you seen that? No. You know what? Sit down and watch a podcast, and then let me know if you still like me. Then let me know. God. Ugh. I hate that. I actually hate that shit. I actually got love bombed a lot in 2024. And I'm like, you actually don't know me. You need to see me at my worst. I need you to see me at my absolutely scariest moments ever. I need you to see me like screaming, crying, throwing up. And then you can tell me. But like, I actually hate that. Like, yeah, I really like you. Actually, no, you don't. Baby, save yourself. No, you don't. Hey, so how did I get on this topic? Can someone remind me? Wow, how did I get here? Oh, Valentine's Day. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. But something that this also made me think about is like, like, okay, I feel like I have met so many people that like really, really either like get me or they like completely don't get me. Do you know what I mean? And as somebody that has always felt like misunderstood, especially like growing up, like all throughout high school, I always felt like, yeah, people just like don't get me. That's okay. Like people just aren't going to like you and that's okay. Like I've always said that. It's cool. It's fine. But then I'll either like, there's people that like I will like instantly click with and I'm like, yes, they just get me. They get me. It's perfect. It's beautiful. And then there's people that I'm like, yeah, they're like totally like misreading me. Like they're just like not understanding me right now. And that's like fine. I finally gotten to the point in my life like years ago, but like I've gotten to the point where I'm like, they're not understanding me and that's okay. Like I'm going to keep showing up as thyself and like that's good. And I don't know why am I talking about this? I don't know. I don't know. Things are just going on in my head right now. I met this Uber driver this weekend, and he was a Gemini, and I knew he was a Gemini from the moment he started talking. And it was just like moments like that where it's like, I feel safe and understood right now. Do you know what I mean? One of my favorite things ever, like in my pastime, is like reading my birth chart and I mean like, not like the little apps that like have your birth chart. I mean like the PDF, like 12-page PDF of my birth chart that like goes through all the different houses, all the different placements, because like sometimes I'm like, I need a little reminder of who I am. Do you know what I mean? Like, let me get a little refresh of who I am to my core. And like last night I was laying in bed, just like reading, refreshing myself. Like, let me remind myself. And I was like reading like, I was reading like my Venus placement, which by the way, my Venus is in Taurus, which is like at home. And your Venus is like, the house of like love and like beauty and like how you love and whatever. And my Venus is at home in Taurus, which is like, that's so beautiful and great and all. But like, I've been saying like, I'm a lover girl to my core and like, it makes sense. But like, I was like reading it deeper and it's like having your Venus in Taurus is great for the person that's like in a relationship with you. But like for me, it's like not that great because like it kind of sucks. Like it's kind of like really hard. And I read this line that was like, she's calm, she's warm, but one thing can set her off. You don't fucking say, bitch. Really? Really? You don't say. I didn't know. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. It was just really funny because I was like, yeah. Now you're like probably wondering like, Lauren, what the fuck are we talking about today? Now, I was talking to my dad on the phone like last week about this one story of like myself like growing up in high school and like this one funny story. I want to talk about like all the different like eras and like lives I've lived. And I feel like it's kind of like it's been like a prominent theme over the last like few weeks, just like with all the people I've like hung out with and like have like met, especially over the last few weeks, just like talking about like being multifaceted and like just like going through life and like everything you've been through and like all the different, you know, lives you've lived, eras, especially like for the last episode, like going through all my memories for 2024. I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but like I used to be like very, very critical of like past versions of me. Like I used to like cringe and like hate looking at like versions of myself, and I used to like not be able to, like that's honestly like the main reason I used to like I would like delete Snapchat, because I would hate like seeing memories pop up and I'd be like, what am I doing? What was I doing? Why was I doing that? Like ew. And I think in a way like I was obviously like very critical because I was so like dedicated to like being better and like being a better version of myself, which I guess isn't horrible, but like now I'm to a point where like it's okay, like she was just living life, like it's okay, like be nice to her. I don't know, but now I'm just like to the point where like all the eras I've been through and like all the like lives I've lived, like I would not be where I am now, literally, obviously, like without all the different things I've done and like the versions of myself that I've been. And I really think back to like everything I've done, like all the different things I've tried. I have always like really, really shown up as myself every single time. Like I've always just been 100% me. And like I know that there was a point in my life where I was like kind of questioning, and it kind of did bother me, like, oh, like, why don't people like me? Like, why don't, like, why aren't people fucking with me, And then, and I'm just so glad that, like, even in that moment of my life, I never ever, like, wavered, and I never changed, and I never, like, tried to, like, fit in. I always just stayed myself. Like, I'm just so happy I always, like, just showed up authentically, because you're always going to find your people, and you're always going to find people that, like, look at you and, like, admire you for who you are. And I hope that, like, this resonates with some people, and I hope that you can, like, take this and, like, look back at your past self and be like, I'm proud of her, even if she was a little, like, cringy or, like, a little crazy. And just, like, yeah. And I guess some of the stories I have to tell are just kind of, like, they're more, like, lighthearted and funny, and just, like, kind of, like, taking a trip down memory lane a little bit. And they're very random. This is going to be all over the place, but hopefully we can giggle and we can laugh. Because, like, it's interesting to me, because a lot of you only know this version of myself. You only know this version of me, And to think that, like, you guys have never, like, known the version of me that was, like, like, bonging beers, or, like, like, playing the cello, or, like, I don't know, like, just, like, there were so many different versions of me, but she was still always me. Like, I was always just so me. I was talking to my dad on the phone, like, last week, 2 weeks ago, and he was telling me how, like, him and my mom, like, went to Waffle House, and he was like, I've been to Waffle House more times in the month of January than I have my entire life. And I literally was, like, crying, cackling, because, like, what the fuck? And second, I was like, that literally was, like, the place to be when I was in high school. And I was like, do you remember how many times, like, I went there? Like, and I don't know if this is, like, a universal experience, but obviously, like, I grew up in a very, very small town, and, like, in small towns, like, there's not a lot of things to do other than, like, underage drink, which is, like, scary. Not proud of that, but that was just an era that I had. Okay. And after we would go out on the weekends, Waffle House is where we would end up and, like, eat before we would go home. So our drunk asses would go to Waffle House. I would always get a chocolate chip waffle with hash browns. Okay. Obviously we would do this safely. There would be a DD, and, like, we would do it respectfully, whatever. And I would always tell him that. I'm like, like, that's where we went after we would, like, have a night out. He goes, yeah, I know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, do you remember that one time, like, when I got my first ticket, when I got pulled over in Myrtle herself? I got pulled over within, like, the first month of getting my license, like, literally, like, 3 weeks of having my license. Mind you, I was, like, the youngest in my class. Okay. It wasn't until my junior year until I got my license. Okay. So, like, I was ready to drive. I was like, who wants me to drive us? I will be the DD. I don't even care to drink. Let me just go. You guys know, like, I literally don't even need to drink, like, to go that fun. Like, I'll drive. Let's hop in Myrtle. Let's go. I'll shake my ass still. I'll be fine. Come on, let's go. So I was so excited to drive Myrtle to this party, like, let's get her going. So I was driving, me and my friend, and it was time to go. I had a curfew. Thanks, Mom and Dad. And I was driving country roads. Speed limit was 55. I remember. It always is 55 or 50, but it was 55. And I was coming into town. I was getting off the road, and I was coming into town, my little town, and there's a cop. And he was sitting there. And obviously it was going from a 55 to a 35. Okay. And obviously I was going to slow down. Like, sir, officer, do you think I was going to go 55 through our downtown with an underager in my car when I just got my license? Like, do you think I don't think? Like, honestly, do you think I was just going to be like yippity dood all day? No, I'm not stupid. You didn't even give me a chance to put my freaking foot on the brake. So he got my ass. He pulled me over. I was like, oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Because I have an underage girl in my car. Like, I have a drunk ass 17-year-old, 16-year-old girl sitting in my passenger seat. She's scared as fuck. She's drunk off a fucking Four Loko or some shit. I don't know. She's like, oh my God, Lauren, I have to pee so bad. I'm like, girl, you gotta hold it. Just hold it, please. Hold it. Just shut up and hold it, please. And he takes my license. He's being a fucking dick. He's like, I clocked you at 57 and a 35. I'm like, again, I was getting to the part where I'm supposed to slow down. I was getting to that point. You didn't let me. You literally set me up, bitch. Fuck you. I actually hate that man. I actually hate that man so much. And honestly, I hate him. I'm still pressed about this if you can't tell. Anyways, so then whatever, he gives me a ticket. And my poor friend like is about to pee her pants. She's like, Lauren, I'm about to get out and pee. I'm about to pop a squat. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're about to pop a squat. There is you're gonna get an underage. What are you talking about? You're about to pop a squat. What are you talking about? You're dumb as fuck, girl. Sit down and shut up. We're almost done. I'm like 5 minutes from home, girl. It's okay. We can do it. Hold your pee. Hold it. I get my license back. I'm like, okay, here we go. We're almost home. So then I start driving. I get stopped at a motherfucking red light. She's like rocking back and forth. She's about to crash out. Mind you, I remember all of this vividly, okay? Mind you, this is me telling my dad the story on the phone because he's never heard this part of the story. He's never heard this. I'm like, I've been waiting to tell everyone this part of the story because I kept this to myself for years. Because I get stopped at a red light. She's literally tweaking. She's tweaking. She's like, I'm about to pee on your seat, girl. I'm about to pee. I'm like, I look around. I'm like, literally, fuck it. I run a red light. After just getting a ticket. Then I run another red light. I literally just got a ticket. I have a drunk, underage girl in my car. I run 2 red lights just to get home so this girl can pee in my motherfucking yard. Then I have to get home and face the wrath of my motherfucking dad, who I know is still awake because he always waited until I got home. Yeah. Yep. I'm like, yeah, so nobody knows a part of me like breaking the law like a couple times after getting a ticket. Nobody knew that part. So yeah, I think about that a lot because like, what the fuck were we doing? Why were we doing that? What the motherfuck? That party was really fun though. I remember it was cute. It was fun. I also had this like really weird era of like being obsessed with Cardi B, and like people would call me Cardi in high school. Like so much so every time I would like walk into a party, they would play Bodak Yellow. So that story is like honestly one of my favorite stories because like, what if that cop saw me run those 2 red lights right after he gave me a ticket? Like, what would have happened? Okay, so I went to a Catholic school. Honestly, if you went to a Catholic school, you understand like the lore. Like, I just feel like if you went to one, like there's just like so much weird lore. And okay, so the thing about my Catholic school is like my class had to wear like shorts. Like obviously we had to wear a uniform, but we had to wear like these ugly ass, busted ass, crooked ass, stupid ass shorts. Okay, they weren't cute, but like all the classes before us got to wear skirts, but a class cut out the shorts that were in the skirts and ruined it for us. Like, girl, what were you doing that for? What are you doing? Why? That's funny. Why are you doing that? So we had to wear these stupid ass shorts that were ugly as fuck, went down to our knees, and like honestly, they were more revealing than the skirts would have ever been. Good idea, administration. Real smart. Good idea. And we had a sister that worked at the school, like not a nun, but like a sister. Anyways, we had a sister that taught at our school, and I'm not gonna name drop because honestly, I'm kind of scared. Of her. Anyway, she was my biggest hater. Okay? Now, I'm thankful for a lot of things like about this school. They gave me a lot of things to get me into a good college. Appreciate y'all. Hey, appreciate y'all. But I hated my class. I had a lot of ops in high school. Again, the bully that sent me $100, I have a feeling you were someone in my high school. I do. I have a feeling. Girl. Anyways, sister was my biggest hater, and she would always yell at me for my shorts, telling me they were too short. And I'm like, girl, we're all wearing the same shorts, and they're like huge on my waist. They're actually like falling off of me. I have a bigger bottom. Let me teach you how body types work, actually. So how the shorts look on me and my thighs are gonna look different on a size 0. Sister, they're actually just gonna fit differently. So would you be telling this to a skinny bitch? Would you? Hope this helps. Catholic school, like honestly, like shaped me as a human because it made me a very strong individual. High school was so interesting because I was such a theater kid. I was such a nerd, but at the same time, I wasn't. Like I was friends with like kind of everyone, and I really liked that about myself. I was always that way growing up. Like I was just like friends with everyone. Also in middle school, I had no business wearing like Jordan slides and like Nike Elite socks. Like I was so gay. Like hello. Like I just like was all over the place. That's what I'm talking about. Like I've just always been all over the place, and like I love that. Now that I think about it, and this is gonna make me literally sob because it always makes me sob every time I tell this story. I had this childhood best friend. Okay. And she was like literally like my best friend. And honestly, like if this girl called me right now, I would drop anything for her. I would do anything for her. For her, her family, her girlfriend, anything. I would do anything for that bitch. Okay? Do anything. Seriously. She was my best friend. We were attached at the hip. We went to daycare together. We grew up together. And we went through elementary school together. We went to middle school together. So she really saw like those eras of me, like my eye patch era. She saw my fat era. And then she saw me lose all my weight. Like she really saw those like prime eras of me. And then obviously I transferred high school, and that was like a big deal for us. Like we like went through like a breakup. Like it was hard, you know, like it was really hard for us. But something I really, really like always think about, and I tell this story a lot, is like she really just really loved she went through these like stages with me like growing up, and she just always like really, really supported me and like loved me even when we were so young. Like we didn't really know what was going on, but she was like, she always stood up for me, you know? And I remember like gym class. I hated gym class. This was when I was fat. I really, really hated gym class, and I really got a lot of anxiety. And the thing is like she was the athletic one. She was a huge tomboy, and she was the most athletic girl in our school. Like she was really good at basketball. She was really fast. She was really good at soccer. Like she was the athletic one, and I was the most unathletic bitch ever. Like I was fat. I was slow, and I was just so nervous. I hated going to gym class because I knew like I was going to get picked last. Why am I about to cry? Okay. And she like loved gym class. Like this was her like moment to shine, you know, like this was her shit, you know? And there was like this one week where we had to like, explain to me why we had like kids doing this. Like, you know, where you have to like do those like running, like training courses. Like, I don't know why you like make kids do this. And I was always so nervous to do that because I knew I would do bad because I wasn't good. And she, again, is like really good at that shit, but she always like ran it with me. She like ran it with me, even though like she could be like keeping up with all the athletic kids. She ran next to me, like ran next to me in the back, or ran beside me, like would like, you know. And we were like, mind you guys, we were like in 5th grade. We were like 10 years old, and she was doing that shit for me. Like that is like so fucking cute. And I think about that a lot. And if my mom is listening to this, I know she is sobbing right now. I know she's sobbing because that story makes her sob. Yeah, protect that girl with all costs. I would literally do anything for her. Okay, I'm wiping off my tears. Obviously, I always like joke about like that era, and like I always say like if it wasn't for like a traumatic childhood, like I wouldn't be funny. Obviously, that still stands true, and like, but seriously, if it wasn't for people like her, I wouldn't have been a strong motherfucking bitch. That kind of went off track, but it just like really is such like a core memory, or just like a core part of who I am. I'm such like a tough girl on the outside, but like truly on the inside, I'm so like, once you get to know me, you're like, oh wow, you actually got a lot going on. And she like knew that. She knew that part of me at such a young age, you know? So okay, let's switch it up to this horrific story. So I always talk about how I used to be like a rat. Obviously, I'm sober now. I'm 2 years sober. And I live a primarily pretty healthy lifestyle. And my health journey really started obviously with my epilepsy and stuff. I used to be a motherfucking rat. Like, was I an alcoholic? Yes. Definitely during COVID, I definitely was. Like, I was having, like, bottles of wine, glasses of wine, like, every single night for what? Don't know. Exactly, and that's alcoholism. You know? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's That's not normal. And see, like, that's why I delete Snapchat, because I see that version of myself and I'm like, yikes. I also, like, I don't like necessarily seeing memories of myself when I know I was unhappy. Does that make sense? Like, I feel bad for her. I'm like, ugh. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel bad for her. I want to give her a hug. Like, I want to give you a hug. Like, do you know what I mean? But, like, look at us now, Pookie. Look at us now. We're wearing a fur hat. What? That makes literally no sense. Yeah, I used to drink a lot. Yikes. I mean, in college, of course. I mean, that's what you do. You just drink. You just binge drink. But my 20th birthday, like, I was so motherfucking drunk. I mean, I got iced, like, 10 times. Not my fault. I was more drunk on my 20th birthday than my 21st birthday. Like, that's yikes. So I remember, like, puking. I had a problem puking on carpets. I had a problem puking on people's things. Let's go down memory lane here. So my first really bad experience with alcohol. Now, I literally puked on a man in which I was, like, talking to at the time. Now, I want to declare something. This man who I'm talking about is now, like, engaged to this, like, beautiful woman in which I really, really like and respect. And I'm just telling the story because it's, like, really funny and embarrassing. I just want to make that clear, okay? And I really like this girl, and she, like, grooms my dog, and my dog really, really likes her. And honestly, it's, like, the only person my dog has ever liked and has ever felt comfortable around. So I hope she's okay with it. Please, my dog really likes you. But this story is really embarrassing, and it's, like, really fun. It was, like, junior year of high school. And if anybody's listening and remembers or, like, was there that night, I need your POV. I need to know, because I don't remember anything. I actually don't know anything at all. I just know what I was told. All I remember is I go to my friend's house. We find her dad's liquor. I take about 8 tequila shots and then have a little mixy with some shitty K. And then we're off to the races. And we get to this girl's basement party. And I'm having some fun. And I'm talking to this man on the couch. And I puke on him. And then I puke on her couch. And then the rest of the night, a blur. I don't remember anything. All I was told was, like, I was, like, dead on the floor. Like, I was, like, not responding, unconscious. People, like, thought I was, like, unwell. Like, I had to be carried up the stairs. Like, I was, like, falling out of the car. And, like, the next morning when I woke up is when I was told all of this stuff. And honestly, what I have to say is, like, props to that man and all of his friends, because I literally first off puked on him and he never made me feel, like, stupid or dumb. And I mean, granted, I never heard anything that anybody was saying, and I'm sure people, like, kind of, like, made fun of me, and I'm sure, but, like, he never, like, was like, bitch, what the fuck? Get the fuck, you know, like, he never, like, he was very gracious for a bitch that just puked on him. You know what I mean? Because if a man puked on me, no, but seriously, so yeah, I had a really hard time, like, drinking tequila ever since that night. Like, I have a really hard time, and I have trust issues. Not anymore though, because obviously, like, I don't drink at all. Like, what was I doing? Taking 8 shots of tequila, 10 shots of tequila. What? For what? Girl, what were you doing that for? For what? Another random thing about me is, like, I am just such a weirdo to my core. Like, I always say this. I'm just such a weirdo to my core. Like, I'll look back at my memories and I'm like, why did I have 2 turtles? Why did I have 2 turtles? I don't know. I just loved them. I remember, like, really, like, wanting to be a marine biologist. What? You could barely get through baby biology, let alone be a marine biologist, girl. Oh yeah, like, obviously, like, I took my music so seriously. Like, I was in orchestra, I played the piano. Like, I literally took that so seriously. Like, I was in honors choir, like, I was in show choir, like, I was, like, doing all the musicals. I was, like, the lead in the musical. I literally took that shit so seriously. Like, music was my passion. I was so passionate, and I always just look back like, oh, I was so passionate about that. And I'm so thankful that, like, I'm still so passionate about, like, other things, and, like, I always feel like I'm passionate about stuff, but, like, I missed music. That's one thing my dad always says. He's like, I just wish you would get back into your music. He is such a Pisces. Pisces love their music. He loves that shit. So like, what do you want me to do, Dad? Like join a community theater? Like, what do you want me to do? Hit the studio? What do you want me to do? You would think that I'm like trying to get into Juilliard the way that I was like doing that shit. Like taking vocal lessons. Taking vocal lessons for what? But like, I think that's so cute. Like when we're like growing up, we're like so passionate about stuff because what else? But I don't think we should ever stop that. If there's something that you love and live for, keep pouring yourself into it. Do you know what I mean? Keep doing it. Another life I lived was being a wedding videographer. Like that was a huge part of thyself. Like I was a wedding videographer for like 4 years, and that was like my full-time job through college. Out like right when I got out of college, I have filmed like I don't know how many fucking weddings, but I think about that a lot because that like was something that really like fulfilled a huge passion of mine, which is just like telling a story, capturing a story, and just like love. Like I said before, I'm such a lover girl. Like I love like just like capturing beautiful moments. Like I love that. So I can't believe that's like something I did. And people always ask me like why I don't do it anymore, but the wedding industry is like a tough one. I think that like, you know, working 12 hours on a Saturday and then having to like edit for another 20 hours on the video and then having to keep up with that schedule is like, it's like actually insane. People don't understand the hours that wedding videographers have to like put in. And the fact that I was doing that in college is crazy work. And then I was like the videographer for my school's basketball team on top of that, like during the week. Crazy work. No wonder I needed a fucking break, girl. But something that I think is so beautiful is that like there are couples that are going to show their wedding video to their children, and like that's something that I created. Or there's couples that like watch their video, rewatch it, and like that's something I was part of. And I was like so like prideful about like how I like made my videos, and like they were very unique to the couple because wedding videography like used to be a very male dominated field. I think it's like definitely changed courses now, but it used to be very male dominated, and like I'll talk my shit on male videographers as much as I want. I still will, because the way that they do things, guilty until proven innocent, show me something else. But this is what I'm going to say. Like they pretty much have templates. Like there's a beginning, middle, and end, and like every video is the fucking same. But like my videos were always just so different and unique to the couple and like telling their story. Like I went into the day like having inspo, having a shot list, like just kind of like knowing what like the couple wanted, like just kind of knowing their vibe and just like getting the shots according to like how the day went. I never was like, I need this one, I need this one, I need this one. Like I was just like, however the day goes, the day goes. And like, as long as I get the audio, oh my God, the audio was like such a treacherous part. As long as I get the audio, honestly, I have a story. I have a story. Okay. This is hilarious. This happened a lot when I was at weddings. Whenever I would go to literal work, when I was going to work, the groomsmen would always bother me, or even just guests. They would bother me like, hello, I'm working. I'm not interested in you. Please shut up. Stop hitting on me. Hey, I'm good. Hey, I'm not interested. Actually, please leave me alone. Alcohol's involved. They're always drunk. They're always just, and I'm always with the wedding party. I'm with the wedding party the whole time. So like, yes, the groomsmen would always just be in my motherfucking face. Okay. And there was this one wedding in which he wasn't even a groomsman. He was just like friends of the couple, and he was around. Okay. He was around, but he was very persistent, and he was honestly like really funny. Like he matched my energy. I forget what his sign is. I don't remember what his sign is, but like he was just so fucking hilarious, and like he was just very, very persistent, and I was so mean to him. So motherfucking mean to him. Mind you, this man is from South Carolina. Like I've never seen him before. His family came and visited. Like I was so mean to him. So he saw me packing up. He goes, "Don't tell me you're leaving." I'm like, "Yeah, actually my contract says 10 hours and I hit the 10-hour mark. So I'm out of here. I'm gone." And he goes, "Well, I looked up on the maps and there's a speakeasy that we should go to." Mind you, this is in Dayton, Ohio. So like I know what speakeasy he's talking about, and it's speakeasy that I really like and I go to all the time. So I'm like, "Oh, really?" Like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Well, do you want to go? Because I'm not ready to say goodbye to you." And I'm like, fuck it. Let's just go. Let's go. Now, let me set the scene. This is a speakeasy in underground, obviously, okay? very dark, very, very dark, very gloomy, like very quiet. It's like, you know, like those are the vibes, okay? And this man is quite literally the opposite. I'm guessing he's like a Sagittarius or a Leo. Like he's very loud. Very loud. He's also drunk. Like he's been drinking all day. He's been at this wedding all day. He's very loud. He's very loud. And like I said, I was being very mean to him. I was being very honest. But like I was having so much fun. And also him and I could not be more opposite. Like he was a total Trumpy, and he knew where I stood. He knew where I stood, and I was being very mean to him. I was being so honest. I was like, "Hey, can I tell you something right now? Like, can you shut up? Can you be quiet? Can you like take it down a notch? You were actually screaming, and can you like notice how everyone in here is like talking at a certain level, and you are actually screaming. You're ruining everybody else's conversations because you're being so fucking loud." He goes, "Yes, ma'am." Exactly. So ended up having a really fun night with him. He was so funny, and he like literally so fucking funny. Like I learned so much about him. His mom ended up being like epileptic, and like it was kind of like an invisible string moment. Like it was so sweet. Would never marry into that family, obviously. And every time I go to that speakeasy, I send him a selfie and I'm like, guess where I am? He goes, oh, my favorite place. I wish I was there with you. I also left out the part where we were like making out in the corner. Actually, can we talk about that? Let's talk about PDA. Please. Let's talk about PDA, because that was so, talk about out of character. Can we talk about out of character? But I love PDA. There's nothing I love more than PDA, but like that was like so not me. But like, I wish you could like see the setup, because we had like our own little booth. No one could see us. Now, I love PDA. There's nothing I love more than PDA. Like, there's nothing I love more than PDA. I just don't like PDA when it like makes everybody else uncomfortable. But like a little touchy here and there. Like, let everybody know how you feel about me, bitch. Touch me. Grab me, touch me. You know, kiss me on the neck, kiss my ear, grab my hand. I love PDA. I'm sorry, there's like actually so much going on this episode. I actually can't keep up with my own self right now. Guys, like I'm gonna be so honest, like my toes are about to like freeze off. Anyways, I hope these like random stories like made you giggle somehow, maybe like related to them somehow, and like all the many random things that like I've been through, all the random many things I did growing up, maybe you could have related to somehow. And I hope this inspires you to like give the younger version of yourself a hug, because that is something I wish I did more, is like just tell my younger self I am so proud of her, because I feel like if younger me saw older me now, she like literally she would not believe. She wouldn't believe. Younger me in gym class would not believe. She would not. Oh, I love her. I'm so proud of her. Yeah, and just like let them flourish. Every single era that you had, it's really good to be multifaceted, and it's really good to just like go through many eras and like have many lives and like have these funny ass, embarrassing ass stories, because literally all of these, I try to look at it as like all these different versions of yourself are quite literally building you up to get to where you need to be. Obviously, I feel like I'm always changing and evolving. Like I am never the same person I was like even like a year ago, 6 months ago. And I feel like that is a really good thing. And it's really good to like go through all this. So, and just know that like wherever you're showing up, whatever room you're stepping into, whatever era, whatever life, anything that you're stepping into, show up as yourself. Show up as a weirdo. Show up as you, and like the rest will come. And I you guys know that I preach that all the time. Like authenticity is key. I hope that this brought you a little bit of peace with everything else that's going on. And I'm just sending a lot of love to everyone, and anyone that's feeling a lot of like uncertainty with what's to come. Like just know that like I don't know, like I'm here for you, and this is like a safe space. Okay? And that I do care, and that I don't give a fuck what that ugly ass, busted ass, orange ass man says. Okay? That was like my one little crash out. That's all. Okay. I'm obviously losing daylight, as you could tell. I love y'all, and more content to come over here. So yeah, just remember, you don't have to be put together to be put together. Okay? Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok, because apparently that bitch is back. Whatever the fuck. subscribe to this channel, and I love you. Bye. I'm the most serious